Shyson773. Thank you so much for checking out my video. For those checking out my video for the first time, I just want to say welcome in. Thank you so much for viewing my video. If you could like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, I would truly appreciate it. For those that have been here the whole time and my new subscribers, I just want to say thank you so much for your likes, for your comments, for your subscription. It really goes a long way in helping me build this channel. I see that my subscriptions are up, so thank you all so much. I really do appreciate it. Also, the comments as well, please keep them coming. I love answering any questions that I can for you. Today is going to be a part 1 of a part 3 series of a haul video. So I went, unfortunately, a little bit crazy over the past few weeks on just getting certain fragrances that I've either always wanted to get, that I've had on my list for a long time, B, some fragrances that I talked about on my Instagram. So if you're not following me on Instagram, I am also Shyson773, which is down here and then also up top as well. But there are also some fragrances that I am going to talk about as well, but I'm going to talk about them in a specific tier. So today's haul video is going to be tiered at kind of a low to medium tiered base. The next video will be also kind of a mid to higher tier base, and then finally the third video that I do is going to be a higher tier of fragrances that I'm going to be speaking about. But today's fragrances are going to be on 2 different fragrance houses. One is a clone house, and then the other one is going to be on one of my favorite houses in my collection. So first off, let me talk about the clone house themselves. I spoke about Dapper Fragrances in a previous video, and I purchased 3 different fragrances from Dapper Fragrances that I felt were so good that I wanted to purchase more. So I ended up purchasing 5 more fragrances from the line, and I wanted to talk about those 5 fragrances today. The first fragrance that I purchased from them was, we're going to talk about BDK Tabac Rose. So BDK Tabac Rose is a very nice fragrance. I honestly have not smelled Tabac Rose from them before, but I sprayed this on me earlier, which I'm gonna go ahead and spray this again. The lasting power on the fragrances, and then if you look at the sprayer is really nice on all of the decants. The one that I have is a 30 ml, so 30 ml will get you a long way, and I believe that they may or may not still be doing the 15% off. I know that for the full month of February they were doing Love 15, so if you go on Dapper Fragrances website, a lot of times they will have discount codes, but they have a plethora of fragrances for you to try. But this fragrance here is a very, very nice plummy, jammy type of rose scent. I don't have to smell it up close, but I get a bit of powderiness, and then I also get a little bit of like a smoky vibe from this fragrance. So overall, this is very well blended. I'm sure that if I smelled the BDK version, it would consist somewhere of these different notes. But ultimately, I love the way that this fragrance smells. It has a very nice, sweet nuance up front, which again comes from that plum and the rose. And then I believe there's tobacco in this fragrance, but it's not that present for me. And especially on my skin. But I do get, like I said before, a bit of a powderiness. But again, this one is Dapper's formulation of Tabac Rose. The next fragrance that I want to talk about is going to be Boadicea the Victorious's Boadacious. I really enjoy the way this fragrance smells because it reminds me of Lost Cherry, but with a different vibe to it. So I'm going to spray this one on my hand on this side. I'm probably also going to run out of real estate as well, but on first spray you get this big blast of cherry. That's what I like from the initial blast, and then you get kind of this, it's kind of like a bit of vanilla and spices as well. This one is really nice. I believe there's also possibly amber in this as well, or the amber accord. This is really nice. Very nice fragrance, very well done. I have actually worn these. I went on vacation not too long ago and I brought these with me, and I got many different compliments on these fragrances. There's one in particular that I'll talk about later on that I'm not necessarily a big fan of, but ultimately it still does smell pretty good, but I think I have to wait for the winter time. But between the two fragrances that I just showed you, I believe you can wear these all year round, especially if you're wearing these in the dead heat. I think the cherry one really does smell very good. Overall, very nice, not overly spicy, has a very nice vanilla note that's in this, but ultimately a lot of cherry. I know that this fragrance smells good enough for me to actually want to try the Boadicea bottle itself, so I may look into getting a bottle of this myself. But again, this one is Boadicea the Victorious's Boadacious. The next fragrance that I want to talk about is from Roja. So this one is Roja Pierre de Velay 9. So this fragrance is one of my favorites from the line. I'm going to have to go up my sleeve, so I'm going to roll my sleeve back. And I'm going to get a quick spray of this one. And this one is very nice. A very, it's peppery, it's smoky. I believe there's amber in here, there's vanilla. It smells really nice. Very refined. Something that you could wear in the office. Something that is very inoffensive as well. It kind of leans a little light, but I noticed that the projection is pretty loud. The projection in sillage is like really nice on this particular fragrance. I don't know how much projection and sillage that you get from the Roja one, but typically Roja has decent amount of longevity. I know there are some Roja Dove fragrances that do not. So typically what Dapper does is they will increase the projection and longevity on specific notes within a fragrance that allows a fragrance to continuously push further than what the normal fragrance would push forward to. So I get easily 8 to 10 hours on all of these fragrances. So this is a very nice fragrance to check out if you're looking on Dapper's site. So again, this one is Roja's Pierre de Velay 9. The next fragrance that I'm going to be talking about is going to be from Tom Ford. So this is their Ebene Fume. So this fragrance, I don't necessarily hate, but I don't love it. So it's not the fragrance that I was talking about, but if I spray this one on, this one is kind of soft to me, but it's light. There's like a papyrus note. It's kind of smoky and leathery. There's a slight, I wouldn't say sweetness, I'd say papyrus, leather, and light smoke is what I get from this fragrance. Overall, not a bad fragrance, but I do gravitate more towards sweet gourmand fragrances, juicy rose fragrances, so florals as well. But again, overall, a very nice scent. This one is Tom Ford's Ebene Fume. The last fragrance is the fragrance that I'm talking about, and this one is from Slumberhouse, and this is Kise. So this fragrance, to me, kind of, how do I'm gonna spray it on me just so I can kind of explain. Super sweet. I think it's like very fruity and jammy, so almost like a fruit bowl. If you had mixed fruits and you put honey on top of the mixed fruits, and then there is a tobacco note, that's what I get from this. But the fruits, to me, that's what kind of throws me off. I like the honey, I like the tobacco. If I smell it away from my arm, like out here, it smells great. When I smell it up close, that's when I get all of that funkiness. So it almost smells like if your grandma had a candy bowl that had all types of, like she may have put fruit in there before, but then she put candy in there after the fact. That's what I get from this fragrance. Overall, again, not a bad fragrance, but I think it's too sweet. I think it's something that if I had an opportunity to choose a different fragrance, I would choose something different than this fragrance. But again, this one is Slumberhouse's Kise. Going on to the next fragrance house. So again, like I told you before, I'm going to talk about the fragrance house that I have probably the most fragrances of, and that is Dreamwalking. So Dreamwalking had a sale which was, I believe it started on 2/5 all the way up to 2/22 at 2:22 a.m. And there were 3 fragrances that were introduced, and they were introduced as the scents. So I wanted to get all 3 of these scents to see which one I enjoyed the most. The 3 scents include Dreamwalking, Ruby, and agDlenaWrikm. So I'm going to talk about agDlenaWrikm first. agDlenaWrikm is, first of all, if you look at the appearance of the bottle, look at how he did such great artwork. And this is Vincent from Dreamhouse. If you look at the top is very nice. You can see the color of the juice is very dark as well. And honestly, that is what I get from this fragrance. So to me, I'm going to spray this on. So I'll spray this towards my arm. This fragrance, first off, let me give you the notes. So the notes include dead leaves, autumn spice, black amber, bayberry, magnolia, sandalwood, and peach. What I get from those notes compared to what I spray on my arm is I get almost like a spiced drink sitting by a fire is what I get on a autumn day. So it's almost like having either peach or apple spiced rum to me, because I get a weirdly boozy note, surprisingly enough, I think that maybe in my mind because of the spices that I smell and the fact that I feel that it's a spiced rum, but I get a smoky note as well, which is not actually it's not listed in the notes, but this fragrance is a very nice fragrance for the autumn and winter time, and it's very unique. So if you're into unique fragrances, I'm not saying that this is overly daring by no means, but I think this is a very, very unique, gourmandish fragrance that has a spicy nuance that is different than the cut-of-the-mill fragrances. But overall, an excellent job on this fragrance. And like I said, the artwork on this bottle is so beautiful. Again, this one is agDlenaWrikm. The next fragrance that I want to talk about is going to be Dreamwalking. So Dreamwalking is more of a floral gourmand in my eyes. The notes for this fragrance include rose de mai, Damascus rose, lemon, lily of the valley, nightshade, patchouli, tree moss, white musk, white tea, and coriander. This fragrance is absolutely gorgeous. Let me show you the bottle as well. So this bottle is unreal. The artwork again that goes into this is so nice. I'm going to spray this one on this arm, and this one I feel is very unisex. This one leans a little bit more feminine, but I think it is perfect to wear. I've worn this one to the gym. I've worn this one out before. I've actually received compliments on this. I think this one is a perfect spring and summer fragrance that will captivate many different people. It's an excellent floral gourmand fragrance that will definitely turn heads, I think, for sure. But ultimately, I think it's very fresh, it's very bright, it's very inviting. Again, this one is Dreamwalking. The final fragrance that I want to talk about, of course, is my favorite of all three, and this one is Ruby. So Ruby is this chocolate gourmand fragrance that was inspired by eating a ruby chocolate. While having a conversation with Vincent about this fragrance in the past, he told me that he found his inspiration through ruby chocolate, and I was able to smell this fragrance before, and I knew immediately that I needed this fragrance in my collection. This one by far is better than Cognac to me. This is probably better than any of the other chocolate fragrances that I feel that I have in my fragrance collection for me in a gourmand manner. So let me tell you the notes of this fragrance. The notes include chocolate, pink pepper, rose, amber, and pink grapefruit. This fragrance, I need to find a spot to spray. I've sprayed almost everywhere, but I think I have a little spot right there. This fragrance, if you are into sweet, decadent, juicy, gourmand chocolate fragrances that are absolutely edible, this is a fragrance that you should definitely check out. The chocolate in the beginning and the strength of this fragrance is unreal. I get a strong chocolate and also a buttery type vibe to this fragrance. Then as the fragrance progresses, it starts to turn into this jammy rose that I get almost, and It's almost like a jammy rose and hard candy type of smell. So if you mix those two and added that to that chocolate fragrance, it's almost like biting into a chocolate and then you're getting that burst of juicy redness that's inside. So that candy. This is overall one of my favorite fragrances from the line in general. So I would say hats off to you, Vincent, for creating this fragrance. I am so ecstatic about getting this fragrance, having it in my collection. I have been stopped by multiple people asking me what this fragrance is, and the people that have joined, I told you what it was before, but again, I have to show you. This one is out of this world. This one is absolutely amazing to me. Ruby is one of my favorites from the line. Again, you have to love chocolate to love this fragrance, but an overall sexy, sensual, like I'm about to take you to bed, we're about to hit for hours type of fragrance. But this one is very nice. If you want to, you can still get your hands on these fragrances if you go to Dreamhouse Kise website. I will leave all of that information down in the description below. But thank you so much again for watching the first part of this haul video. Please be on the lookout for the second part of this video really soon. And until then, have a blessed day and take care.